And then we're also going to have a little bit of excitement from the Scottish Premiership and the Cup as well. There's plenty for us to look forward to. It should be a good morning. So hopefully you're all looking forward to it as well. Thank you for everybody who's waiting along already. It does make a massive difference and it's lovely to have you here. Thank you for those who were waiting before we even started. If you haven't yet, please do chuck a thumbs up on it. It does make a massive difference. And of course, you will notice that I'm sporting my Luton shirt today because it is the derby at Kenilworth Road for the first time in a number of years. Just a shame that we can't be there. But thank you everybody for popping in. Thank you for being here this morning. I'm just doing the social medias because I'm not very organised this morning either. But it is lovely to have you all along. So thank you for coming and joining the fun. I've even forgotten to put my headphones in, so I can't hear any of the alerts or anything either. I'm so well prepared this morning. It's been a long week. You'll have to let me off for once. As those of you who are on the Discord will know, we started playing football for the first time on Thursday night, a little five-a-side, and we are ruined, to be honest with you. I'm one of the younger ones, so I've got away with it a bit, but it's still not worked out pretty well. I've got to be honest with you there. So a lot to look forward to, plenty of excitement on the way. I'm hoping a safe passage through to at least the Champions League playoff and at least the Europa League group stages. But hopefully we can do even better. Fingers crossed that will be the case. Thank you to everybody who's coming in. Thank you to those who have put the thumbs up already. Please do come and say hello as always. We'll go and get into it in a minute. And fingers crossed we've got a lot to look forward to. We've got a few other things to talk about from the saves and from the other bits as well. So plenty of excitement to come. The Champions League, we're obviously playing off against PSV, who we played the first leg against recently in the last episode. And we'd like to ideally be able to do that again today. The second leg, with the lead away from home, we can hopefully make it quite comfortable. So fingers crossed, looking at it now, we'll be able to get into it and do well. Let's go and get cracking. So this morning, we haven't played any games off camera. We're just looking at getting straight into the matches. We're going to look to play PSV in the second leg of this playoff. We've got Motherwell in the League Cup at the weekend, which a bit like Aberdeen, we'll probably have to play the backups. Then we'll have what should be a Champions League playoff round game. Might well be a Europa League one if we bottle it. Then we should have Ayr and then the second leg. So we should be leaving it knowing where we are. John, good morning. I hope you're well. I am very well indeed. Apart from the very aching muscles from football on Thursday night for the first time in a long time. I hope you guys are well as well. I hope you've all had a good week. Things are just starting to show a little bit of normality now this week. I've gone to play football. Shops are open. I know that it's not my cup of tea, but there's starting to be some good signs. And touch wood, the numbers are still looking good from a work and health point of view. So fingers crossed that will remain the case. And we can all have at least a decent summer. Will make us all breathe a sigh of relief, I think, won't it? Thank you to everybody coming in as always. Nearly in double figures already. Lovely to have so many of you here this morning. And come and get involved in the chat. Who have your team got today? Who have you got this weekend? Have you got something to play for? Are you in a promotional relegation battle? For me, it's a Luton Town side who we're going to be mid-table. Nothing else in between. But the good news is we've got the derby against Watford today. So we should be at our best, if nothing else. Charlie Betts, good morning. Welcome for coming along. I hope you're not aching as much as me because you did play football with me on Thursday night. And the second day's always the worst, isn't it? The pizza cure has done a bit, but there's still a little bit of trouble going on there. So fingers crossed, not quite so much to worry about. Yeah, Nigel Pearson's short contract runs out this summer. There's a lot of jobs that are going to be up for grabs, aren't there? Because the problem is, there's a lot of people who bought in these managers on short-term deals to get things done. And Nigel Pearson's one of those. He got them to 50 points very quickly and fair enough. But then they've got the decision of do you sign a new one or not? Because you can't really judge a manager once the players are on holiday. I'd give Nigel Pearson a new contract. But as you've said before, I don't think he's the right fit for that football club. That's my concern. He's a very good manager. And probably his style of play doesn't suit Bristol City. But with so many players out of contract and a couple that he might want to sell worth massive money, he could rebuild a whole squad. So let's not rule it out. Let's go and get into this though. We have had a quiet few days since the Aberdeen game. Nothing really happening on or off the pitch. If we look at transfer news in particular, we keep getting offers for Ali McCann, who I very much want to stay as part of this squad. And in terms of ins and outs, nothing else is really happening. So the only thing we've got against PSV today is a chance to bottle what should be a very good lead from the away leg. If that doesn't happen, I'll be quite happy. Fingers crossed we'll be able to get that wrapped up. So the lineup we're going for today is pretty much our first choice one. No risk being taken in the Champions League. We've got Ziga in goal, Brooking and Ramos the fullbacks, with Jacimovic alongside Mengi in the middle, McCrory and Mallon in central midfield, Serrano and Mokri the inverted wingers, and Matt O'Reilly in behind Mitchell up front. Not got his goal yet this season, Mo Riley, but he is starting to play well, and hopefully that will carry on today. Jordan Holsgrove among the substitutes. I know he popped up in the Discord this week, or his TikTok page did, I should say. Not that I'm familiar with that. But we have got the likes of Sterling, McCann, Kirk, Shankland and Johnston. We've got a really strong bench. And I've even put a keeper on today. That's not like me, but I don't want any big disasters. Charlie, your favourite ever strike partnership at Luton? I'd go for one of two. So, the first one would be Steve Howard, Rowan Vine, because that was pretty legendary for a short period of time. Sort of the League One promotion season, or Division 2 as it was then, whatever it was. Did it change then to the Championship League One? I think that might have been the first season. But yeah, we won the league that year. That was the year that Curtis Davis broke through, and then he got his big move. But yeah, I think that season, Vine and Howard were largely the front two, and they were very good. Though when I first went to watch Luton in '99, my favourite striker was Stuart Douglas, but I was never a big fan of any of his partners. So he usually played up front with either someone like Liam George, Andre Scarlett, Trezor Candle, if you remember him, Andrew Fotiatis, and I think Carl Griffiths were there, but didn't play much. But yeah, Stuart Douglas was my favourite, but he wasn't involved. Then I would say more recently, probably that half a season towards the end of League One's year, the promotion season, just a couple of years back. Obviously, James Collins is one of my favourite players just for his work rate, his tenacity, rather than his goal scoring. But he played up front for a couple of months with Kazenga Lualua, who couldn't finish. But I've got to tell you, it was exciting to watch. It was an absolute joy to watch going forward. And hopefully, we'll get to see that again a couple of times before the end of the season, because Kazenga obviously made a big difference in the last game at Wickham and scored an absolute screamer. So early on here, Dundee United looking under a bit of pressure. The defence is completely disappearing. We just need to nick one on the counter though. It is a little bit jumbled for some reason this morning. It will catch up after 5 minutes. As Mokri gets in behind to Matt O'Reilly. Oh, it's a wonderful goal. What a moment that is. In the grand scheme of things, it doesn't change a huge amount. But PSV, they need 4 goals. And without that, we're going through. We've got to be happy with that start. Carl, morning, no haircut for me. Unfortunately not. I had to work my day off this week, so it will be next Tuesday will be mine. So by the time we get to Tuesday night's live stream, I should be fresh. I've got rid of the beard though, so I'm halfway there. As we've given the ball away in a ridiculous position. Ziga makes a fantastic save. But they're not the sort of chances we want to concede here. Yeah, that's the thing, isn't it? Everyone's been rushing to the barbers now that they're open again, but unfortunately, it's not a reputable excuse to get a day off work. That was a cheeky little foul there. Is he going to get a yellow card? He doesn't. So throw on the left-hand side, though. Half an hour gone. This has been a brilliant performance so far. And we could well finish this episode by securing Champions League group stage football. But the playoff, not going to be easy. Mokri's in, though. That's fantastic. 4 goals now mean PSV only get extra time. They need 5 to get through. What a first-half performance this has been. Charlie, biggest question of the day. Are you Colin the Caterpillar or Team Cuthbert? Look, the original's always the best. Colin the Caterpillar is supreme. I will do a taste test on the food channel if litigation allows by the time I get to them. Because until things like that can afford to be business expenses, we can't be doing it. As there's a goal there, it's a good finish from Malen. He's back from the Olympics and he is scoring goals galore. But yeah, Colin's the best. I don't get about the whole suing everyone and whatever. It's called Cuff, but it's a different thing. You know, get over it. And the Audi social media team were at their best yesterday. I'll give them that. Thank you to everybody coming in as well. It is greatly appreciated. If you haven't yet, please do chuck a thumbs up on it. It helps people find us and does make a big difference. And let us know who your team's got today. It's Luton Watford at 1 PM, of course. So I'll be getting excited for that. I've got the shirt on. I'm not really a football shirt man. And to be fair, Luton have just bought their season ticket renewals out, so that's to look forward to as well. As we are trying to bottle our Champions League football here. It's exactly the same pattern as the last game. We went 3-0 up on the road, and then we almost threw it away. That game, it was because of substitutions maybe a tad too early. This game, nothing of the sort. Complacency getting to us. So it's 2-1. I've just dropped to balance until half-time, just to try and keep us in line. As Mengi heads it away as far as Mokri, who loses out to Rosario. Mandragora gets there. It is hard to, or easy to forget that they're a very good team, as Malin gets in again, and this time he's dragged it wide at a post. A wonderful international striker. He's showing exactly what he's capable of. Interestingly, TNS in this universe, third qualifying round of the Champions League, holding Astana comfortably. I will say on that front as well, there is our first ever experiment coming to the channel tomorrow at midday, and it's a Welsh-based one as well. Well, Carl, you've missed half of that title. It's Stoke on the beach v Preston on the beach. Preston battered 5-0 in the last game. Not that the caretaker manager is probably the most tactically adept, but they're two clubs that are going to have massive overhauls this summer. Stoke will do the other half of the overhaul that O'Neill started this year. And Preston, well, they sold half their squad and put in 7 loan players in January, so they're going to be forced their hand to do it. It's getting interesting at the bottom as well, though, isn't it? With Derby last night. Let's get a throw-in on the right with Brooking. Can we wrap this tie up? A third goal, and PSV need 5. And if they get 4, they won't even get to extra time. As Sillison makes the save at the back. Dutch international goalkeeper playing for the Dutch champions. Or the Dutch runners-up, sorry. As Mengi heads away as far as Mitchell. To Mokri. Man was running off him, but he was just offside. Mandragora plays out to Rosario. Over to the right-hand side, up to João Pedro, into Malin, who has been brilliant up front. And Ziga makes the save. Wonderful goalkeeping. We're just about clinging on. I'm going to give Serrano a rest, because it's not been his best game. And after the Olympics, he's not really had that break this summer. So Sterling's going to come on. He'll be a winger on support. I'm not going to do too much more just for now. I'm really struggling to get this right. There we go. But a good 3/4 so far, and we'd have taken this at the start. Carl, you sacked Billy McKinley and got a new assistant. Interesting. Who is the assistant, out of curiosity? Is it someone Michael O'Neill's worked with before, perhaps? But overall, I guess it's an easy way to do it, isn't it? As Malin gets a second, and we're back in this same territory again. 20 minutes to go, and we're under a little bit of pressure. Ali McCann's going to come on for Stevie Malin. Just play a little more defensively. But I'm starting to get really worried here. It's 2-2. And 4-2 means extra time, don't forget. As Sillison gets the ball in goal. Long kick out wide. We've got to win this. They're just playing through us so easy. Malin gets there. Left-hand side, skins 2 players. Wide to Albrighton. Through to João Pedro. Great save, Ziga. But we are relying on Ziga to keep us in it now. I'm demanding more because we're not at the office here. And look at the nerves. Look at the way it's changed the morale at the bottom. There are some real problems in this side mentality-wise still. And that's the problem with a lot of youngsters. It's another corner kick. It's just galore attacks for PSV. Attacks galore is what I meant to say. But the nerves are getting to me here as Mitchell comes down the left. Please, just give me the goal. Wrap it up. Ali McCann to Mokri was offside. Must have been. Oh, it's not given. I think we've got VAR, so it must have been on then. It looked off. But Colin Mokri, or Chris Mokri is the actual name, has made it 3-2 to Dundee United on the night. 7-4 on aggregate, and even with 2 goals conceded, we go through now. So, subs-wise, we'll replace O'Reilly with Holsgrove. We'll try and enjoy the last 8 minutes. Let's go and have a look at the chat. Charlie, who is joining Wickham and probably Sheffield Wednesday in League One next season? Right. I mean, the Sheffield Wednesday situation is really difficult because if Darren Moore had been in the dugout, I really would have fancied them to have a go. But given his ill health, which is more important and we wish him a speedy recovery, I don't know what to predict. Because I don't think Sheffield Wednesday will make it as a result unless they're playing for him. If the boys like the new manager and now they're playing for him, it could be inspirational for them. But if not, I have to say Sheffield Wednesday. And I'm still saying Huddersfield, Charlie. I'm still saying Huddersfield. I said it at the start of the season. I was getting mocked when they were sitting in 9th, 10th, 11th in the comments on the podcast. And I still think they'll be down there. They're the ones to me that as we saw at Norwich, and more that we've seen in plenty of away games, they concede 3 or 4. And when you get to that stage of the season, you can't rely on 4 or 5 goals to win a game. But that run of draws might have been enough for them recently. You just don't know. Dean Holden's the new assistant. That's interesting, because he was always considered to be a really good assistant, wasn't he? But obviously, it didn't end well when he got promoted to the number 1 at Bristol City, although they've probably proven since that with the squad he was doing okay. He had injuries galore, and they were still mid-table. Thank you to everybody coming in as well. Please do chuck a thumbs up on it if you haven't already. It does make a massive difference. Thank you for your incredible support on the video still. They've had a little boost again this week. And yesterday, although overall you might say it was just a normal mid-season episode, we did see in the head coach episode 80, is it? Or 79, our best ever goal of this season so far. The best ever goal of FM21. So please do go and check that out and let me know if you've seen a better one, because it was remarkable. We have drawn CSKA Moscow in the playoff for the Champions League, which will follow a bit later on this morning. They beat Salzburg 4-1 on the home leg. Their star players up there. Let's have a look at the scorers. So Bayo got 2 up front. He's very good. He's an Ivorian international. They've then got a winger here. Oh, he's a striker as well, who's very good. That's the one who went from Celtic, wasn't it? Or Rangers. Where did he go from? Yeah, from Rangers he went. And then the last one is... Oh, they've got Mario Fernandes at the back still. Xhaka Pijol, who looks a solid midfielder. So that's going to be a tough test. And we're going to have to play the reserves in between. That's the problem. But if we get through that, Champions League group stage football and that money will allow us next summer to compete for the Old Firm and to finish this series in absolute style in future years. Charlie, can you name your Irish League top 6? I think you probably can now, unfortunately, based on the results last night. Particularly with Crusaders getting back to form. So I think Ballymena will finish 7th now. Although Glenarvan are up there as well, aren't they? So Linfield will win it. I still think Glentoran will nick 2nd. Which will make you look good as you add them to win the title. Coleraine 3rd. I'm not banking against Crusaders for 4th just yet, because they found proper form again now. Then I'll go Larne 5th and Cliftonville 6th. Bottom half, I think we could probably go for the order it's in now, but possibly Portadown switching with Warren Point. So that would be my 12. Greenie, second one of the day. Barbers is Tuesday. Unfortunately, I had to work my day off this week, so as many of you will know, you can't get a day off just to go to the barbers. Particularly in the middle of pandemic and vaccination land in the NHS, so... Just Tuesday should be done. So for Tuesday evening's live stream, I will look about 10 years younger again. I've done the bottom half for you though, Green. I've done the beard. Got that one out the way. Thank you for all the extra people who have been following over on Twitch as well. We're just 6 away now from reaching affiliate already. Absolutely remarkable. I'll try and get a bonus stream in next week as well. Because one, I'm starting to enjoy the Ballymena save. And secondly, I've also got to consider the fact that ideally... I'd like to get in 2 streams a week over there as well and break that little Wednesday, Thursday, Friday up. Just with work, it's quite a difficult experience. So, I don't think we've got any space to register Dembele, and he's still throwing his toys out the pram, so I'm going to leave it without him. We'll have one more go at selling him as well, because it doesn't seem to be working so far. He's unhappy, he's throwing his toys out. We've got to find a way to get rid of him. He's a fairly big earner. He's the biggest of the old guard of earners. He's so injury prone now, having had 2 or 3 serious ones. Which is a shame, because he did well for us. But he's never going to be back to that again. Greenie. I'm talking about my chin, Greenie. Jeez. It's always you, isn't it? This weekend's Old Firm predictions. I don't know what to make of it. Because Rangers put such energy into the league. And while I agree with Greenie, they're probably just about the favourites. They put such energy into the league. And for John Kennedy, don't forget. Oh, that's a massive offer for Dembele. That's more than his value. Yes, please, Brentford. 6.75 million. You can have... I would have sold him for 2 or 3. But yeah, I still see it as John Kennedy's job audition. And I just think, and don't forget, for Scott Brown and someone like that, they want to go out on a trophy. I'm going to stick my neck on the line and say it's going to be a draw after 90 minutes. It's going to go to extra time. I mean, from there, it's anyone's game. Greeny, I'm really sorry, mate. Celtic on penalties. I just think they have to win it. For Rangers, they'll be forgiven if they go invincible still. And in fact, they'll already be forgiven because they've won the league. But I just think Celtic have to win it. For Rangers, it's not as much of a priority. And I know it's an important game. I know it's an old firm, whatever. But for Celtic, it's like the most must-win you can have. So I apologise, Greeny. Don't hate me, mate. But I genuinely think Celtic will nick it on penalties. But if it goes to penalties, obviously it can go either way. So, but I don't see it being over in 90 minutes. That will be my main firm prediction for the day. Thank you to everybody popping in as well. Lovely to have so many of you here this morning. Thank you for still supporting the streams both here and over on Twitch as well. It really has meant a lot to me and I have really appreciated it. So I hope as we ease out of lockdown, we'll still be able to enjoy a bit of time here. And obviously as we get to the summer and everything starts to get back to normal, hopefully, and particularly once the Euros are on as well, we'll try and change things up a little bit. So we've reached the weekend. We've got Motherwell. But then CSK is on Tuesday night. So we're going to do what we did against Aberdeen. We'll rest the whole squad. The League Cup, realistically, as much as we bottled it in the final last year, it shouldn't be our priority for this year. Charlie, favourite pancake topping, British pancakes, flat, crisp, as I did on Pancake Day on the Instagram, and lemon and sugar, traditional for me. Greeny, I don't hate you, I just love it when the Jers prove you wrong. To be honest, mate, I don't mind who wins it. So it's not I want Celtic to win or whatever, you know. I'd really like to see, I think it strengthens Scottish football, particularly with the balance of finances and the balance of reputation, if Rangers can come back and win a double this year. I think it's better for Scottish football if that happens for the longer term. Particularly with the Europa Conference next year, if someone like Hibs, someone like Aberdeen or whoever could compete. But I think Celtic have so much. It's so important to Celtic. They just have to win it. But yeah, pancakes, lemon and sugar. Basics for me, Charles. Let's get this lineup pick for today. We'll go for a full backup 11. I've got to remember what that is each time now. So we've got Kerr and Finley. Devine's got a knock, but I think we can probably get away with it. We'll start him. And then we'll put Stephen Dunn on the bench in case we need a backup. Nobody's offered to loan him yet. They all just want to buy him. Dehaney's on the right-hand side. McCann and Cannell in the middle. Jordan Holdsgrove as the number 10. Oh, he's not gone in there. And we'll have Watson on the right. Johnston on the left. And up front will be Lawrence Shankland. So, Milligan down there. We'll have Donaldson. We'll have Dembele. Or in fact, we won't have Dembele because I don't want to risk him getting injured if we're going to get a big sale. So after that, we'll just go for those that have got the medium match load. Oh, I've not put Sterling in. What a silly man. Sterling will play on the right wing and Watson will be a sub. The problem is, defence and midfield, we don't have anyone with a medium match load. So let's have a look at where we can balance things out. So McCrory is fresh. Mallon's not match fit, so we'll get him in. And then we need a defender as well. So either Ted and Mengi, Josh Brookin, or Jozimovic. We'll go for Mengi because he's got a very low injury risk. Into the game we go. Backups against Motherwell in the Cup. Hopefully they'll rotate as well and give us a chance. And if not, these boys will prove a point. Greeny, you sound like just big Ian Crockett. Well, I have interviewed him, haven't I, for the podcast. So maybe he's got inside my head. He did genuinely say, Greeny, off camera that he does really like Rangers and Hibs. So I trust him on that judgment. Although I do understand what you mean when listening to the commentary. But he was, to be fair to him, he gave up his time. He came on our podcast, our poxy little podcast at the time it was. And he really helped us. And it's done really well. So we can't thank him enough for that. But yeah, he might have had his influence on me, Green. You've got to be careful of that. Charlie, are Sunderland going to blow their promotion again? It looks like, with Peterborough winning last night, It's not about whether they blow it anymore, is it? They haven't really got the chance. It's not up to them. Matt Jansen talking up new Stockport owner. Big plans, it seems. Yeah, it's an interesting one. All the way back to when Jim Gannon was let go earlier in the season after the job he did there and the role he had in the community. And the accusations that were made against him was very strange. But it seems to be moving in the right direction. And to be fair, for the National League next season, it could be really exciting. Because particularly if you look at it at the moment, let's go and have a look at the table. It looks like, last time I saw anyway, that it was Hartlepool and Sutton flying at the top. So yeah, Hartlepool are top. I mean, it's a difficult league because of the games in hand. Because Hartlepool have played 35, they're top. Sutton have played 32, they're 1 point behind, but they haven't won in 4 games. Then you've got Torquay who have won 4 in a row to get back up to 63. Chesterfield and Notts County are 11 points behind them, but they're only played 31 games. It's a really interesting mix. I mean, that top 7, if you add in then Stockport and Wrexham, that could be an unbelievable league next year. Add in the fact that Yeovil have had a poor year. Likes of Dagenham have got a chance to bounce back. Barnet will survive no matter how poor they are and will have to improve. Solihull Moors look like they're back to their best now. There's so many sides that could compete there. I think it's going to be brilliant. But Mark, Wappos, good morning. Thank you both for popping in. Please do chuck a thumbs up on the video if you haven't already, or the live stream I should say. It does make a massive difference and helps people find us. Particularly as there's a bit of a problem with the like counts at the moment this week on YouTube. So it shows us a bit lower anyway. So the more the merrier as far as we're concerned. I hope you've all seen our best ever FM21 goal in the head coach episode yesterday. It was bordering on remarkable. A Sterling's in at the back post. Hits the crossbar. It's a great effort and it's a corner kick. We're still playing decently with the backup side in. And in fact, I will change Sterling to a normal winger now. Just try and get him to get crosses in and get Shankland amongst the goals. But so far, so good. Charlie, favourite non-Luton strike partnership? That's a good question as well. I'm trying to think. I don't just want to go for like an obvious Premier League one. I'm trying to think of ones I've liked along the way. But having said that, I'm probably going to end up... I'll tell you one I did really love when I first started watching was the brief period where Viduka and Keane played together for Leeds. I loved that year because they still had Harry Kewell. Olivier Dacour was in the middle. Eric Bakker. Who was on the other side? I'm trying to remember who was on the right wing. Sterling's got in. That's a wonderful goal. Shankland turns provider. Sterling holds his run a bit wider. And we go 1-0 up with 52 on the clock. Who played on the right wing in that team? I'm going to have to go and look it up because it's driving me nuts. What was it? 2000, 2001 season? Maybe the year after. Let's have a look at the squad. Who would have been the right winger in that side? I mean, even looking at the squad, I can't work it out now. 71 minutes gone. Dehaney back to Sterling. Chance to get the cross in. And then we can make the second substitute. McCann gets it in. Holsgrove scores. And we are going through in the cup with the backup team. Exactly what we wanted. Or perhaps was Bakker off the right more often. Because McPhail and Wilcox were both left-sided players. I can only see Bakker there. That makes sense. So maybe Bakker was the right winger more naturally. He did play there a fair bit, didn't he? 5 minutes to go. We'll go and bring a couple of the youngsters on for a few minutes. But I cannot work out for the life of me who would have been the right winger there otherwise. Let's skip forward again. I'm just going to go to the following year and see what happened there. Any big signings the following season? Oh, Lee Bowyer possibly might have been, mightn't he? I didn't think of him because he was a flying attacking midfielder when he was a bit younger. But yeah, that Leeds side. LMA 2001, I used to love being that Leeds side. Let's go make a couple of subs anyway. Get the job done early on. We've got Ray Milligan who can come on for, let's say, Sterling. Donaldson can come on for Holsgrove. And in fact, we'll put Shankland number 10. Milligan up front. Donaldson on the left and Johnston on the right. They can all play, they're good enough. Stephen Dunn will come on for Devine, who had a knock anyway. In fact, I haven't brought Darren Watson on. So, let's put Watson on instead of Donaldson. Then we can leave Johnston on his natural side. But this has been a pretty textbook comfortable performance for a backup team. You've got to be fair to them. Dylan, morning, you love Peterborough. Absolutely you would, wouldn't you? They're pretty much wrapped up second now. What I want to know with Peterborough is when they inevitably sell Johnson Clark-Harris for 10 million again in the summer, and maybe even Smodics for 5, who are they going to replace them with this year? Which players out of League 1 and 2 are going to get the deals? Because I know they were interested in Adebayo before we signed him, but that was in January. That's been done now. I'm going to look actually who the top scorers are. League 2. Let's start with League 2 because we'll see who they're going to try and nick. So League 2 is still Paul Mullin and James Vaughan, who are too experienced. Matt Jay at Exeter. Not sure about that one. I mean, he is a bit younger at 25. He's the sort of player they'd probably go for. But his goals per game, because he's played 38 times, is only 1 in 2. Although this season, there's not many that are better than that. Max Waters at Crawley. Although he's on loan. Is he on loan from Cardiff, if I remember rightly? But they could try and get a loan deal, something like that. Oh, he's gone to Cardiff already, hasn't he? He was only there the first half of the year. I'm going insane. So I don't know who they'd go for, to be really honest. But they're definitely going to lose Johnson Clark-Harris because that's their model. They'll lose him when they get an offer of 10 million or so. Dylan, good morning. Macca, good morning. Thank you all for popping in. Charlie, Dublin and Huckabee for you. Yeah, you're a little bit older than me, so that would be your sort of late 90s one, wouldn't it? I used to love any strike partnership Dimitar Berbatov was in. He was an unbelievable player. Obviously, you could go for the obvious ones like the Bergkamp and Omri and all that sort of stuff, but I'm just trying to think of some of the non-obvious ones a bit lower down. Even ones we came up against with Luton, you know. Because there were some cracking partnerships up there. There's one I'm going to have a quick look at just to make sure that I've got it factually right before I say it. But if so, I think I've found my one for you, Charlie. Let's have a quick look. So I'm just looking to see if the person I think played the games up front alongside the other. So, 2003-04 Crystal Palace, Neil Shipley and Andy Johnson. If you're going for a sort of mid-table obscure or an obscure one or a lower league one, that's the one I'd go for. The one that got promoted to the Premier League. Unfortunately, Shipley didn't have the legs then when they went up, so he didn't get to play, and they weren't the same side without him. Thank you to everybody coming in as well. Lovely to be in double figures again. Thank you for all the thumbs up so far. If you haven't yet, please do chuck one on it, because it is Champions League playoff tie in a moment. And CSKA Moscow is going to be an absolute cracker, because they're a good side. They've got good attackers. They've got some quality defensive players. And it's our chance to get to the first time, the Champions League group stages. It's the League Cup quarter-final draw. Rangers and Celtic still both there. Let's see if we can avoid them. Hearts out first against Livingston. Rangers or Cove Rangers. Oh, Dundee United. There you go. Rangers away. That's probably that one over. But oh well. We've still got plenty to be excited about. It's Luton Watford today, of course, at 1 o'clock. So make sure you got your eyes peeled on that. Finn Petrie, good morning. Thank you for popping in. Lovely to see another new face amongst all the regulars in the chat. Dylan, in our last 5 games now, we have Crewe today, Shrewsbury, Burton, Hull and Swindon. 7 points. You've got to get 3 out of Swindon because that's crucial at both ends. Shrewsbury have been largely good, but can be a little bit of hit and miss. So I would say maybe that's a point. Burton under Jimmy are flying. If it's which ground's the Burton game at? Because if it's at Burton's, you've got a chance. If it's at the DW, Burton are brilliant on the road. Hull depends if they've wrapped up the title. If Hull have won the title by there, it could be the best game you've ever had. Could be the game you were dreaming of. If they haven't, and they're still fighting for promotion, it could be a disaster. And that's the thing, it's the context of where those teams are when you get to them, isn't it? Crew today, I don't know. Let's have a quick look at the League One table, because it's such a tight league in places. The two mini leagues anyway. So Crew, I guess they still would be looking at the playoffs, wouldn't they? They've got a game in hand on most, and they're only 10 points behind. If they win it, 7 points with 5 to go, they'd fancy themselves. And they're saying that in 15th place. But yeah, Swindon, to me, Swindon and Rochdale look like they're gone. I know Rochdale won their most recent match. But I thought Northampton were gone. They've had a couple of good displays. I thought Wimbledon, once they appointed the academy manager, would have been gone. But still, they've bounced back. Burton is at the DW. Okay, so that's a lot of a much harder fixture now, because Burton on the road are just sublime under Jimmy. You think how far adrift they were at the bottom. They were the side everyone had written off, and he's come in and... I mean, I tipped them for the playoffs at the start of the season based on their squad. Didn't take into account that a player manager never works, which was Buxton at the start of the year. But under Jimmy, they've shown that they had a playoff squad. Dembele is going for 6.75 million. That's the best bit of business we've ever done. He came in on a free, got injured for 4 months, was then brilliant for a year and a half, got a big injury again, didn't feature at the end of the season, and now he's been sold for massive money. It's absolutely fantastic, isn't it? The Swindon games must win, regardless of when it is, where it is. They're the side that... And if you send them down, it will reduce the value of Scott Twine for Luton, who are very interested in him in the summer. So it works for all of us. Thank you to everybody joining along as well. Lovely to have you here this morning. Thank you for coming and getting involved as always. Do come and get involved in the chat if you haven't already. If you haven't, please chuck a thumbs up on it too. It does make a difference. We will be live on Twitch in the morning, of course, as always, with Ballymena United. And we're almost at affiliate there already. So thank you for your incredible support with that. And tomorrow at 12 o'clock. So it's a triple header tomorrow across the channels. So... I mean, technically, it's a quadruple if you consider the podcast as well. 10:30 tomorrow morning, live with Ballymena on Twitch. Midday, first ever experiment on YouTube, a video. It's based on Welsh football a little bit as well. We've then got at 3:30 our normal video, which will be the head coach tomorrow. And then the podcast prediction should be out for the midweek game in the Championship as well. So it should be my busiest ever day as a content creator tomorrow. Let's have a look at the lineup for today. We're playing CSK, so we might as well make all the changes recommended and then go and have a look at the lineup. So who have they gone for? We're going to put Serrano on the left, Mokri on the right, O'Reilly number 10, Mokri on the left, sorry. Mallon into the lineup, who for some reason the assistant never ever picks. That's our first 11. Now what can we do with the bench? Kerr will be the centre half, the Haney will be the fullback. Sterling will be in there. Holsgrove will be in there. Ali McCann will be in there. Shanklin will be. And Mikey Johnston. Is there anyone else I want? I think that's my strongest 18. I'm tempted to take out Dehaney and put in the goalkeeper in Clark. But I'm not going to do it. I'll take the gamble for the first leg. Here we go. Champions League football deciders. The first leg against CSK in Moscow. And we have to take a lead from the home leg. Macca, imagine Rooney getting relegated in his first managerial role. I can't see him being a top manager, to be honest. But he's in an impossible situation. There's chaos off the pitch at Derby all season. And I do feel a bit for him in that sense. Having said that, he knew what he was getting into last January. Because the deal, it all sort of started with him, didn't it? I saw this morning, Frank Lampard is evens to be the next manager again. Even though Rooney's still employed, so... I don't know if he'd go back there and start rebuilding again, but if they stay up, I think that might happen. Dylan, have you ever thought about downloading some mods from previous years and just looking through which teams are in what league and what players are still playing? It's not something I've actively thought about, to be honest. The thing with the ones that are like external mods like that is it's the time consumption for me because of the full-time day job as well. If it wasn't for that, I'd probably do that sort of stuff more often. Particularly like the nostalgic one of downloading, let's say, like I saw recently there was a 2001 one or a 97 one and things like that. I'd love to do that. I'd love to play old FMs as well, but unfortunately with work commitments, that extra stuff just isn't possible. Even the experiment I set up, it was a fairly ease your way in, comfortable one as well. So it's something definitely for the future if I could make this part of my job, but at this stage it's not quite ready yet to be able to do that. So hopefully, who's to say if we're sitting here in a year's time, we might be able to say yes, and that's the conversation we're having, but at the moment, not quite yet. The food channel will be going soon as well. I've just started doing stuff for that, so we're trying to get there. I'm putting the effort in, and hopefully it will show longer term. As Brooking gets down the right to Serrano, chance to cross in. O'Reilly's there. I think, Dylan, to be honest, the priority at the minute is the Twitch side of things, getting that up to speed as well. So that's almost an affiliate already now. But getting that ready so it's best for FM22 is one. And then hopefully we'll be in a position where it's sustainable enough to then make more content and drop the hours at work. So that's sort of the balancing act at the minute. Finn, you should do an Old Man City save when they first got taken over. That year as well, it was the first takeover before the Millions, the Thai takeover the year before where Sven was in charge. I loved that side. They were missing a top quality striker. They tried about 5 that year. But Alano in the number 10, Petrov off the left-hand side, Stephen Ireland and Michael Johnson were incredible that year. And it was just a great team. Really enjoyable to watch, to be fair to Sven. But I always liked City, to be fair. What I don't like is the fact we haven't scored in this one. We've got a cross from the left. If we go 0-0 in this first leg, I can't see us winning on the road. We'd like ideally to get at least a 2-0, keep a clean sheet. As McCrory gets it wide to Brooking, chance to cross. There's 3 in the middle. Oh, it's nearly an own goal. Is it a handball? I just saw his arms going like that, flailing around all over the place. Maybe he just misjudged it with his head and decided he had to go for it. Who's going to take the penalty? I think it's Mitchell, is it, the striker? No, it's Stevie Mallon. Come on, Stevie, don't let us down. Into the bottom corner. Stevie Mallon delivers. It is 1-0 Dundee United. Finn, you're absolutely spot on. Alano that year, it was a joy to watch. Absolute joy. I think he tailed off towards the end of the year because they ended up losing 8-0 or 8-1 to Middlesbrough, didn't they, the final day. But the first half of season, just it clicked. As it's a throw on the left for CSKA Moscow. The man who gave away the penalty picks it up at centre-half. Down the line to Plattenhart. We cannot concede the away goal. We've got to get this back and get it clear. It's into the box. Jasimovic heads away. O'Reilly gets there first. Now can we make it 2? On the break, it's a 3v2. O'Reilly's coming forward. Finds Mitchell to Mockery. Oh, that's a wonderful effort. Just wide of the post. Let's go and encourage the boys. Serrano's not had a great game again. He's really struggling to get going this season. Is he just settling because he's got his contract sorted now? As Mockery goes through to Mitchell. Oh, it's a lovely, audacious back heel. Didn't quite come off though. Mengi finds McCrory to Serrano. Out to the right to Brooking. Brooking cuts it back. Serrano's on his left this time. Doesn't quite get there. Mallon wins it back though. Brilliant work. They're so hungry to get it back, the boys. McCrory picks it up. Switch of play to the left to Ramos. Flying forward to Mockery. Left side of the box to Ramos again. 3 in the middle. One of them's O'Reilly. Hedge just over the bar. I'm going to make a change. I'm going to bring Sterling on the right wing. Scored the first goal against Motherwell. Hopefully will make an impact tonight. It went in anyway, Dylan. Yeah, absolutely. Mallon's got a corner kick on the right-hand side. And if we can score this, I might cancel the next change. As Bayo, the striker, heads it wide again to Mallon. Gets towards the byline. Into the back post. Mockery's there. Can't miss those. O'Reilly gets replaced by Holsgrove. Mitchell by Shankland. We've got 9 minutes. We've got to try and get a second goal, but we've also got to be wary that the clean sheet is essential. Thank you to everybody coming in as well and supporting as always. It does make a massive difference. Please do chuck a thumbs up on it if you haven't already. It's a 1-0 win in the first leg, which means the second leg away in Russia is going to be absolutely decisive. What tactic do we go for? Do we go out to try and get the win again? Do we go out and try and hold on to a 1-goal lead? I just don't know. It's going to be interesting. We've got Ayr United in between where the backup side will feature. And hopefully after that, we'll be able to get it done. Right, we've got space for another scout, and there's some in the reports here. So who's the best? I think it's fair to say it's Aaron Calvin, though the Falkirk scout, Kasprak, has got a much better scouting knowledge of different countries. So which one do we take into account? He's also on a much cheaper contract as well. So let's go for him, actually. I just want to be able to scout players from different nations, and if we can find a good one, there's not too much between their attributes, we'll have a go at it. We've offered £700 a week, 5-year deal. He'll of course take that. Ali McCann, we're rejecting the offer from Brentford. We've given you one player already, and thank you for overpaying for him as well. And thank you to everyone who's been so active in the chat again. It baffles me that I've still got this level of support at this stage of the season. So thank you, particularly in the FM cycle. So thank you all for coming along. We will be on Twitch in the morning as well. So make sure you're following over there too. It does make a big difference. And let's try and get through air with our backup team as well. If we can start winning those games with our backup side and keep competing in the league, it's going to be one hell of a season. If we get Champions League group stage football, we might have to sign 1 or 2 more. We might just have to take a slight gamble on strengthening the squad. Fotheringham's picked up a knock. Not really had a kick yet this year because he's been injured so much at a time. But he is going to be a valuable member of that squad. Right, we've got to confirm the squad. I don't think anything's changed other than Dembele's been sold. So now everyone who's left at the club is eligible. There's a wonder kid from Spurs there. What position does he play? Centre mid. And can we sign him on loan? We can, but it's 19 grand a week, which would be the highest at the club. He is very, very good though. I think the problem is, I mean, our area of weakness according to the assistant is in goal. But I don't see that we need to improve on Ziege because he always plays very well. The only thing I'd really like to do is bring back Ryan Gould because he must be homegrown at the club as well. Which in Europe would be a massive, massive difference for us. I'm going to scout him when we get to, if we get to the Champions League group stages, should I say. And hopefully he'll come in at that point. If he does, that will change the save. That would be the moment where we can say we've made it. I wouldn't mind getting Mockery back permanently, but we're probably turning him to a good player for Arsenal at the moment. We've got Ayr United up next, though. They've been a bit of a bogey side in this save at times. See, look, Celtic and Rangers are saying that selling their best players again. Celtic have bought one in, to be fair to them. But it certainly isn't the inspiring transfer window you were hoping for from Scottish football. We will have to go back and have a look at some of those players, though, because they look like potential superstars. It's been a really good start so far, but the league form is the thing that's got to keep up. And without everyone fit, that's the thing we've got to worry about. Thank you so much to everyone getting involved as well. I do appreciate you all coming along this morning. Thank you for being in the chat. Thank you for being active. And thank you for all the thumbs up as well. Just a couple away from double figures, so please do chuck one on if you haven't already. We will be live on Twitch in the morning. We will have our first ever experiment on this channel tomorrow. And Kasprak has agreed to join, but we've got to wait 2 weeks for the work permit. That seems a bit excessive for a man who's working in the country already, but who are we to argue, eh? Callum Donaldson is expecting to be loaned out. The problem is, he wanted a £4 a week deal, and I don't think anyone will take him. Yazimovic is expecting the midfield to be strengthened. Didn't we do that after he joined? Oh, we haven't. He's the last signing. So, there you go. Ryan Gould could become even more important. We've got Ayr United, but all attention is on the Champions League game. So, what we're going to do is we're going to get in the full backup side first again. So, Clark will start in goal. I mean, it should be identical to the side that played against Motherwell. Dehaney, Kerr, Finley. I'm even starting to remember who they are now across the board. Who are we missing in centre midfield? We've got McCann, Cannell, Holsgrove. On the right wing, it will be Sterling. He's got a heavy match load, but he's only playing off the bench most of them. So there you go. 4 matches, but only played 2 games worth of minutes. Johnston off the left, Shankland up front. And then the usual suspects on the bench. The likes of Donaldson, Watson, Ray Milligan, the youngster, Stephen Dunn. And then most of the others this time have got a medium match load. So we can go for the likes of McCrory, the likes of Matt O'Reilly, who's been coming off in a lot of the games. And just try and find the versatile ones. And I'll put Serrano in as well, because he's not quite match fit and he's not found his form this season. So it's 11 changes from the Champions League, and fingers crossed, we'll still be able to come out on top. That's the hope for today anyway. It's a decent side for United. Lewis Strapp started the save here, of course. They've got the likes of Emmy Hughes and Charlie White and Callum Harriott on the bench, so it shows you how much they're improving. We're going to tell the lads they're favourites to go out and prove a point. We're resting Ted and Mengi, we're resting players, because Champions League football is everything for this club. If we can do it, it's worth 2 league games being thrown away. I know the Rangers one we struggled because Serrano wasn't back from internationals. We've still got a real chance. So into the first half we go. It's been a pretty boring first 15 minutes, but we have had the better of the stats. They'll be defending to do here as Walsh picks it up for air to Strapp. Walsh on the left-hand side. Can we nick it and counter? We can't. Strapp delivers early. It's going to be a goal. McCowan's in. Not quite sure what Clark was doing back there. But that's a wonderful goal from Ayr United. And now we're in trouble. So let's go and berate the lads. Let's get something out of them. Tony Weston puts Rangers ahead. Their nicking wins every time. So far, I know we've played largely our backup team, but it is a slightly worrying start to the league season. Again, we're dominating the stats. We're playing lovely football. Shankland has just not looked like scoring at all. I'm not sure what's happened to him, as Cannell's got a free kick on the right side of the box. Luca Cannell saves the day. Bangor City hero in our Build a Nation save. Build a Nation hero with Cliftonville in FM20. He's the first ever man, I think, to feature in 3 saves for us. And what an absolute superstar. Brilliant free kick that was. Brilliant way to finish the half. We'll carry on with the tactical changes. And we'll go in level. That's exactly what we needed on the stroke of half time. We have been the better side, so we're going to tell them we're not happy enough. We're going to get a few fired up. And hopefully we'll get a reaction in the second half. Just Jordan Holsgrove, who doesn't look confident. I mean, for all of the dominance in the stats, we haven't really seen many highlights. So perhaps that's a concern. And we haven't seen the best of many players. So I'm actually going to take Holsgrove off. I'm not sure who the best one to bring on is. Do we just go first choice? We've got to bring on the superstars. That's what they're there for. Matt O'Reilly will come in. And with 25 minutes to go, we'll replace McCann with McCrory. And we'll replace Johnston with Serrano, who's on his natural left-hand side. Going to be a winger, I think. Is there anything else he can do there? Not really. I mean, the assistant doesn't actually rate him in his natural position. Has got to be said. But at least they should then create some chances for Shankland. And we'll just demand a bit more, because it's not been a vintage performance by any means. We certainly don't look like winning it, though. Cannell's got another set piece here. Into the box. Headed away. And now there's a counter on. What on earth is that tactical shape? We've been skinned down the wing. And Dehaney does well. I mean, he's committed a foul there, has he? But they're carried on because he's kept possession, the striker. Brilliant play from him. It's back to Chalmers. It's a chance to cross. Cuts it back to Strapp. Back to Eden in the middle. And he starts again with Staunton. We forced them back well there. And Devine nicks it. Now can we counter? Matt O'Reilly surging down the left-hand side. He's got Serrano with him. Instead goes all the way. Shankland's in the box. There's support coming. Into the back post. Sterling's there. He's hit the post. He's missed from 5 yards. Absolutely astonishing. We're going attacking. We're chasing the game. But we haven't got a striker who looks like scoring a goal at the minute. And that, beyond everything, is the biggest problem we've got. So we go attacking. What can we do with Shankland, honestly? I mean, as an advanced forward, he's not got the same ability. I just don't know what to do. We'll stay attacking, but it's going to be drop points. It's going to be a 1-1 draw at home to Ayr. And that is not the build-up to the Champions League qualifier we were looking for. Having said that, we knew it was a risk. We've rotated the squad a full 11 because the priority is the Champions League game. That's what we're going to finish with. CSK and Moscow on Wednesday night. And if we draw, if we win, or if we lose by 1 with an away goal, we will be through to the Champions League group stages. And all of this pain and rotation at the start of the season will be completely worthwhile. Thank you everyone who's coming in. Thank you everyone who's stuck with it throughout the stream. Please do chuck a thumbs up if you haven't already. Make sure you see yesterday's head coach episode with the best goal of FM21 for me. As we'll be back for CSK away on Wednesday night. What a finish to the stream this is going to be. Champions League football and a group stage draw could be the way we finish. The ones who haven't featured will get involved in the under-23s. Or the reserves as it is in Scotland, sorry. I keep forgetting. And hopefully they'll be able to keep improving as well. We've got a recruitment meeting. I'd like to see where they want us to improve. So they've gone for the right wing. I'm not sure I agree with that. So we'll leave it for now. We'll just get them to keep scouting. And then if we reach the group stages, we'll go big on the transfer front. But we're talking as if we're favourites to get through. We're 1-0 up after the home leg. It's going to be very tight. And it's going to be very difficult. But at the very worst, we've got to the stage where we know it's Europa League group stages. And for that position, I'm relatively happy. Celtic, albeit having lost to Rangers, have only got 4 points after 3 games. So they're having the same struggles as us too. And hopefully once the season gets settled in, we'll be able to push and join those two at the top. Stephen Dunn, we're not going to sell him just yet. We'd like to give him a chance to improve. And particularly if we become a Champions League side. The money, the value of our players, the reputation of the club will increase. Is there anything in the rumours suggesting that we're linked with people? Not really. Rangers trying to sign Ross McCrory. No chance. Leandro Barrero. He's someone we tried to sign a couple of years ago, isn't he? I'm going to have a scout of him again. He's someone that's on our radar already. And Jerome Apoku, who is playing at Hibernian. He's someone we looked at in the summer, but wasn't quite good enough. So, Wilson Esbrand's there as well. Some good players available. But most of them, not quite good enough for us. There's a 15-year-old Aberdeen striker there, linked with Dunfermline. So let's go to Aberdeen and have a quick look at him. We like finding players through the media reports. Any 15-year-old strikers? Michael Roberts. Oh, he's not that good, and he's not ambitious. Rangers have made him a Crawley offer. We'll ignore that as long as possible. But good to see. We were worried about spending $6 million on him. We're going to make a profit regardless. Thank you to everyone coming in. Please chuck a thumbs up if you haven't already. We're about to finish on the big one. Will it be Champions League or Europa League football? This game against CSKA Moscow, as we go to Russia with a 1-0 lead from the first leg, will decide how our season's going to go essentially. Because it could be back to the drawing board in a few moments. We're going to reject all these other offers. Ross McCrory, I don't want to send him anywhere, but do we have to look at it and think, if we go massive, let's say 15 million there, 5 million there, and 5 million there, if they bid 25 million, do I have to accept it? I mean, they've withdrawn it anyway, but if it's silly money, we probably still have to say yes. Particularly if we don't get into the Champions League group stages. The answer to that, though, will be coming in 1 day's time. Through the pre-match press conference, the build-up is in full swing. And this is a wonderful opportunity for us. If we get to the group stages, we'll be 4th seeds. And unless we get a lucky draw, we'll be out of Europe by Christmas. But the 12, 13, 14 million pound you get for reaching the group stages should, if we look at it, double our bank balance. And given the fact we spent 8 million on transfers this summer, it'll mean it'll be for free. It's the first time we've invested and it's our chance to get it back. And then I've still got to worry about the Luton Watford derby at 1 o'clock today. Hibernian have bid for Fotheringham and they're offering him first team football. That could be important for him. I'm going to provisionally accept it, but we might not let him go. We'll see what happens. But it's all about CSKA Moscow now. It is match day and we are heading over to Russia. Most of them are fit. The first team is fit. We're going to have to make the usual changes because he won't pick Stevie Mallon. There you go. He's left him on the bench. He's just put Luca Cannell in instead. What are you doing? How have they gone to a heavy match load? A lot of them played in... Why have they played in the 18s? Oh, silly, silly boys. I'm sure I didn't do that, did I? Oh, well. They're all okay. They're all fit. And we're still happy. So, we're going to put Clark on the bench. Insurance policy. Kerr, Sterling's not fit, so Dehaney will go for. In midfield, it'll be Ali McCann. Up front, Shankland, Johnston and Holsgrove. And I think that's our first team squad. Ramos has dropped to 3-star, which is a concern. We can't get any of the strikers scoring, which is a worry. But we're heading to Russia with a wonderful chance to make it Champions League group stage football. Oliver Johnson, I'm new to the channel. Really enjoy your content. Keep up the good word. Oh, thank you for the kind words. It's lovely to have a new face in the chat with all the regulars. I'm really glad you're enjoying it. Thank you for the support and thank you for popping in and saying hello. It's lovely to have a new face amongst all the regulars. We will be live on Twitch in the morning as well. And of course, our first ever experiment at 12 o'clock tomorrow on YouTube. Just a niche one from Wales, but an introduction nonetheless. But thank you for the kind words. The support on this year's game's been incredible. So I'm really glad you're enjoying it. And thank you all for popping in and saying hello in the live stream as well. Now, early doors here, we've got a chance with a corner kick. Into Jasimovic, the centre-half, through to McCrory. He's put it wide at a post. We're sticking with a balanced mentality for this game, rather than our usual positive. We're just trying to get up on top. And so far, it's looked okay, as McCrory plays a 1-2 with Brook in the right back. Tries to deliver, it's cleared away as far as Stevie Mallon. But an away goal changes so much here. Then they'd need 3. As Mockery gets it into Mitchell, he's offside. He slid it away well. And that's the annoying thing with these two poachers, Mitchell and Shankland. They're brilliant finishes when they're already offside. When they're on, can't hit a barn door, straight at the keeper. VAR's disallowed it, it looked it, there's no controversy there. And no shots on target, but so far, a decent performance. It only takes 1 goal to change it though at the moment. As Mockery's lost out there, it's cleared downfield. We've got a 2-on-2 at the back, which I'm a little worried about. Bayo holds it up. Goes back to Plattenhart on the left. Through ball. We've been split like a knife through butter there. Ziga gets the save in. He's made a big one in goal again. He might be the worst rated player in that first 11. But he has been brilliant since he's come in. And he continually saves goals as he has from the header there. And it remains 0-0. If we get the away goal, we should be in a really good position. At the moment though, doesn't really look like coming. Jack. How do they do as advanced forwards? Not very well. The advanced forwards in the one striker system has been really bad this year. Even in the head coach, I had to change Pereira, remember, because it just didn't work, even with a world-class striker. So in a 2-striker partnership, you've seen at Bangor, and you've seen in other series as well, even at parts in the head coach, when we've had an advanced forward and a poacher together, they've been absolutely brilliant. But one up front, the advanced forward, the poacher, doesn't seem to work. Any one-striker system, really. Because even with the deep line forward with Pereira at Spurs, it doesn't work. It's just that he scores so many goals. Because he's a poacher. He naturally gets into the box. He naturally scores the odd wonder strike. The overall game, the one striker system, doesn't seem to work that well. But Jack, thank you for popping in as always. Lovely to see another one of the regulars in. Just a couple of thumbs up from double figures. So please do chuck one on if you haven't already. As Ramos delivers to Mitchell, it deflects away. That's where the poacher's got to be good. We don't expect them to have a good all-round game, but we expect them to put away the chances. As Serrano finds McCrory. What I will say is this has been a very good first half performance, but it needs the away goal. Ramos delivers. Mitchell's offside again, is he? No! It's not given. The away goal is in from Scott Mitchell. That's what a poacher has to do. And now CSKA Moscow, if they score 1, they're out on aggregate. If they score 2, they're out on away goals. They have to score 3. I wouldn't put it past them because we're not the best side defensively. But it's a lovely position to be in at half-time. And for all of Scott Mitchell's poor performances, he scored big goals when it matters in Europe. You've got to give him that. 2 against PSV, 1 in this game. And it could be Champions League football in half an hour's time. And that could be absolutely remarkable. Just past the hour mark is a Stevie Mallon free kick into Mengi. We're through now. CSKA Moscow need 4. What a performance on the road in Europe. To be fair, even against PSV, we were better in Holland than we were at Tannadice. And this has just been vintage. We're going to be in the Champions League with Dundee United. It will cause problems for the league and we might drop back down to 3rd this year. But we'll be able to invest. We'll be able to put a blueprint in for this side. Let's get Jordan Holsgrove off the bench. Let's get Mikey Johnston off the bench. Just some fresh legs on the wing. We're still trying to get fitness into some of the other lads as well. Mikey Johnston will just be a winger on support. And I'm worried about Yasimovic, so I'm going to put Jason Kerr on. I know changing the back four is not recommended, but I don't want a red card in this game. We've got 15 minutes to go. Surely we won't concede 4 goals. And if we don't, it's been a fantastic performance. Jack splashing the cash with the group stage money. Not all of it. So we've spent 8.8 million already this summer, sort of with some of the Champions League money in advance. So we'll keep some by. We'll try and upgrade some of the other stuff. Maybe even the stadium, get an expansion, because we nearly sell it out every week already. But we'll definitely invest try and go and find another 4 or 5 million player like Mitchell, like Yasimovic, like McCrory, who can really improve this first 11. Or even if not, just a couple of £1 or £2 million young players who can improve the squad. So we can then compete Tuesday, Saturday, Wednesday, Saturday, sorry. But the key thing here is that the final thing we will be doing today is having a group stage draw for the Champions League with Dundee United. 13.93 million. So, that takes the finances to 25 again. We're getting scout reports for some players who we'll look at off camera. We'll sort all that out. But, if we go and have a look at our club vision, we just want to try and improve everything else as well. Keep the whole club improving on and off the pitch. And that's the area we're working towards at the moment. For some reason, it's decided to go very slowly now. So, the junior coaching budget went up. The training facilities and youth facilities are getting improved again. So, the first thing we'll do is we'll ask to improve the youth recruitment, which is the one that was rejected last season. They've agreed that. So, there's a big thing off the pitch. Let's ask to expand Tannadice. We'll see what they say. They've planned it. Okay. So, we'll go and have a look at that message in a moment. Youth recruitment has been improved to excellent. Stadium expansion. It will improve the provisional capacity by about 1,500. So to 15,729, and it will cost £2 million. Happen at the end of the season. Be done by July. So no cut to capacity at any point as well. That's brilliant news. So to be fair, this board is really starting to back us now. They're giving us an opportunity to succeed. And I'm hoping we'll be able to get going. Watford are in for McCrory. We're not accepting that. He can be as unhappy as he wants, but he's not going there. So in terms of the board, we're quite happy at the moment. They're giving us everything we need to. In terms of our league expectation, we've only got to finish third. So we can focus on the Champions League the first half of the year. But the final action of the morning is this. Let's get through the Champions League group stage draw. We are, of course, seeded 4th. So let's get through the top 3 seeds and look at what the groups look like. Of course, you've got all the English sides in there. Only 3, actually. Liverpool are in the second pot now. You've got the Spanish giant. You've got the German giants. You've got the French champions, the Italian champions. And there it is with 3 pots done. Even in the 4th pot, the likes of Wolfsburg, Bordeaux and Stuttgart are among us. But let's have a look at some of these groups. And let's have a look at where we think we could possibly nick 3rd. Because if we can stay in Europe after Christmas, it would be brilliant. So I'm looking at the 3rd pots. Obviously, we can't be in Celtic's group, which is probably a good thing, given it's City and Madrid. I'm looking at Group A with Dinamo Kiev. Group C with Basel. And that's probably it. They're the 2 groups I'm looking at and thinking maybe. We've got to avoid Group B with Arsenal, Barcelona and Lazio. That's the group of death. We've probably got to avoid the PSG, United, Ajax group. Into Liverpool, Zenit. I mean, Benfica aren't the strongest top seeds, but Napoli and Lille is a tough group. I mean, I'd love Group C. My second choice would be Group A. Let's see who we get. The first pot will be Wolfsberger. Please don't put us in the group of death. You just knew it was going to happen, didn't you? Absolutely astonishing. A, C or D. The one we didn't want was B. Because it's Italian giants in pot 3 alongside Barcelona and Arsenal. Well, let's just enjoy the experience, shall we? Because that is disastrous in terms of trying to get 3rd. Lazio are the next weakest side in the group. They've still got Milinkovic-Savic. They've still got Luis Felipe. They've got Joaquin Correa at 30. They've got Luis Alberto at front at 31. Divock Origi is there at 29 years of age. They have got wonderful players. I mean, that's going to be almost impossible, isn't it? Not the draw we were hoping for. Any of the groups either side, we would have been happy and maybe nick third. But it is going to lead to one hell of a schedule for the next episode. So let's go and skip ahead and see what they look like and where the fixtures have been placed. But unfortunately, not quite the group we were hoping for. The other team is Lazio. I mean, the fact they're stating it like that is ridiculous. So, the next episode will probably look as follows. Let me know if you agree with the plan here. Tuesday night, we will go for... We'll try and get past Hamilton and Kilmarnock off camera. We'll finish off the transfer window. Then we will be back for Barcelona, Motherwell, Rangers in the Cup, Celtic and Lazio. 4 successive away games. Oh, that's going to be ridiculous. The 2 old firms and Lazio away from home. Barcelona at home. And then we'll do the same the following episode. We'll skip Hibs and Falkirk. Then we'll try and come back for Arsenal double header in the Champions League. We can't miss any of those 6 games, can we? They're absolutely brilliant. It's what we were waiting for. So that's what we'll be back for. Hopefully a little bit of transfer news, but more importantly, some of the biggest games we're going to have in this series. The 2 old firm sides on the road in different competitions, and Lazio and Barcelona in the Champions League group stages. If you're looking forward to that and you did enjoy this one and you haven't already, please do put a thumbs up on it. Come and get involved in the chat in this one and on Tuesday night as well. We'll be live on Twitch tomorrow at 10:30 AM. We'll have our first ever experiment tomorrow lunchtime on the channel. And then we'll also have our normal episodes at 3:30 today and tomorrow as always. Thank you so much for following over here and on Twitch as well. It is greatly appreciated. And I'll see you for Champions League group stage action against Barcelona, Lazio and Arsenal, as well as some old firm tests in the next episode. I'll see you on Tuesday night at 5:30 as always. Thank you for watching, thank you for supporting, and I'll see you next time.